What is going on, beautiful people of the world? Today we are talking about the Japan Rail Pass. Now, if you're going to Japan, this is something you're totally going to want to look into. If you're traveling from one city to another city and you're doing it over, let's say, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, this is something you're going to want to have. It's going to save you a ton of money. Now, if you're going to go just to Tokyo and stay there, this isn't for you. But if you're wanting to zip around and get around the quickest way possible and the cheapest way possible, stick around. I'm going to go through how you purchase the tickets, how you use the tickets, and how you activate them all right now. So let's just hop right into the computer and we'll start there. Okay, so let's talk about purchasing the Japan Rail Pass. Now, if you just go and Google Japan Rail Pass, it's going to be a little bit confusing. There's tons of ads on here, so you're not going to want to go to that. What you're going to want to go is to japanrailpass.net. That is like the official Japan Rail Pass website where you can get all the information you need. Once you're there, you have a bunch of tabs that will tell you about the Japan Rail Pass. But this can be a little bit confusing because this is just an informational website. There really isn't a whole lot else here. So that's why I'm making this video, so that I can go through some of the things that I think you need to know. So first thing is eligibility. What is it that you need in order to have the Japan Rail Pass? In order to use it, you can go to your About Japan Rail Pass and read some of this, but I'm just going to explain it really quickly. It's that you need to be a foreign tourist entering Japan from abroad, and you have to have a temporary visitor pass, a visitor stamp in your passport. That's 15 days to 90 days long, and you're going to get this no matter what, as long as you're a tourist and you're not on like official business in Japan. Now, there's also some ways you can get the Japan Rail Pass if you're a Japanese citizen living abroad, but there's some conditions here that I would suggest you checking out if that fits your eligibility requirements if you're a Japanese citizen living abroad. For most of you, you're going to be a foreign tourist in Japan, so that's not going to be a problem. My only tip is if you do enter a place where there is an electronic entrance, which some people are now installing in a lot of these different ports and airports, you're going to want to make sure that you do get a stamp from the stamp guard. So even if you go through the electronic entrance, you're going to want to go to a guard and ask them to get stamped so that you can prove that you are a temporary visitor. Okay, the second thing is that there are two types of rail passes. There is the green pass, and then there's the ordinary pass. Now, what's the difference? Obviously, the green pass is a little more expensive, and the ordinary pass is less expensive. The reason is the green pass is like first class, let's call it, and the ordinary pass is, well, just ordinary class. Now, the difference is there are a few more trains that you can ride with the green pass than you can with the ordinary pass, and you supposedly get nicer seating in the green section than you do in the ordinary section. I did the ordinary section, and I can highly recommend the ordinary section. There were tons and tons of trains to get where I needed to go. They aren't that much slower compared to the ones that you're doing in the green. So that is the main difference between these two. It's just classes and availability of trains, but like I said, I don't think you need to splurge on the green one. The ordinary pass worked amazingly well. Okay, the other thing you need to know is that there are different durations for these tickets. So you have a 7-day, a 14-day, and a 21-day. So basically what happens during these things is you can use the Japan Rail Pass as many times as you possibly want in between these durations of time, 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days. The reason I bring that up is because if you're currently planning your Japan trip, you should plan your Japan trip around these durations, because you're going to want to have the full pass in order to get back to where you need to go, or you're going to have to plan accordingly so that way your pass doesn't run out while you're not where you're going to be leaving. Okay, now that we've talked about the pass and what it's about and the eligibility of use, let's talk about purchasing the pass. Now, you're going to want to go over to this tab here, Japan Rail Pass, Purchase to Travel. And if you come down, you'll see that you can't actually purchase on this website. You actually have to purchase from a sales office, and you have to purchase these tickets before you get to Japan. You cannot buy these in Japan. Well, you can, but they're phasing that out, and you have to go to special agencies and special locations within Japan to buy the pass. Anyway, it's a real pain. Plus, most of the information on that is in Japanese. So if you don't speak Japanese and you don't read Japanese, I would highly, highly recommend purchasing your ticket before you enter Japan. So you're going to go down and you're going to click the location where you are. These are going to give you the list of official sales agents that are selling the Japan Rail Pass. You can see here they give you some options They'll tell you the location, they'll tell you the office, and they'll tell you the phone number. What I did was I used JTB in Australia, and I would probably suggest using them. They were super helpful and responsive to all of my emails and phone calls and questions. But again, it might not be in your area, so that's up to you to decide. Let's go into what the Jtb purchasing process looks like. So you can see that they give you the different types and prices and options, and you can have it sent to you via FedEx. You can also pick these tickets up at the office. So if you choose an office that is close to you, you can go and pick those up. So you're just gonna go through the process of ordering the JR Pass through the JTB website. Once you go through this, you'll see that they'll ship you your activation directions, and we're gonna go through how to use those to activate now. So let's take it over to Japan, and I'll show you exactly how to activate and then use these tickets. Konnichiwa. I'm Japan Josh. I'll be walking through all your JR Pass stuff here in Japan. Okay, so today we're going to be activating our JR Pass. We're going into Osaka Station to do it. We're in Osaka, so that's where we're doing it, obviously. But in your packet, you should get a booklet that tells you all the places that you can activate your JR Pass. So if you're in Tokyo or somehow came in somewhere else, there's a list of information in that packet to tell you where to activate your JR Pass. We're going to go through the process now in Osaka. So in Osaka, you're going to head to the central station, and then there look for tickets, and then they have two signs for advance and today and season tickets. If you want to collect your ticket, you can go to the season tickets thing. You can also do it in advance and tell them when you want to activate it. So you can do it ahead of time and not worry about that. Okay, that was a little bit confusing. What I meant to say was, when you go to activate your pass in the season's pass line, you can tell them that you want to activate your pass for a day in the future. Meaning, if you show up on the 10th and you don't want your pass to start until the 14th, you can still go to the line on the 10th, ask them to activate it for the 14th, so that on the 14th you can start using your pass. That'll save you some time if you don't want to do the activation on the same day you're trying to grab your first train. Alright, back to the video. Second thing is, apparently everything is booked, so probably book ahead. But you can also just hop on the train in the non-reservation cars. So that's what we're going to try and do now. I just flashed my JR Pass to the guards and then let me walk right by. There are 3 carts that are non-reservation carts, 1, 2, and 3. So just go there and wait, and then you see if you can get on. I think we got here early enough that we'll be able to get on, so yeah, no need for the reservation, I guess.
Welcome to the Shinkansen. This is Osaka.
Okay, so we made our first JR Pass trip. Okay, a few tips I would say is that if you're going to be driving a no reserve car, if you're like trying to go the day of no reserve, first 3 cars, 1, 2, 3, get there at least 30 minutes early so you can just hop on and possibly get a seat. I'd say that's the best bet, at least 30 minutes ahead of time. Also, book your trip a day in advance. So when you get into the station and you want to leave like 2 days later or 3 days later, just go in to the same station you're at. So right now we went to Hiroshima, we went and got our tickets for tomorrow to Tokyo. So we're completely covered for tomorrow and we have reserved seats. I think that's the best way to do it, just kind of be a day ahead of it, and that way you won't be standing up on any trip. But you can get on the train, so that's not a really huge deal. If you're last minute, you can get on a train. Welcome back. I think that's everything that I have for the Japan Rail Pass. My only final tip would be that if you're planning your Japan trip right now and you're budgeting it out, this Japan Rail Pass is a huge part of your travel budget, but it's not the entire thing. This is only between cities travel. When you're in a city, you're still going to have to pay for the metro, the subway, the bus, or taxis or Ubers, and it is pretty expensive. So just plan accordingly, and hopefully you won't have any unexpected costs as you go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything that I can. Or you can hit me up on Instagram if you prefer, at Josh Pavano. And if this video was helpful, please subscribe. That helps me out a ton. And I'll be posting a lot more travel tips video over the next few weeks to hopefully help you get to the destinations you want to go to and do it cheaply and have a ton of fun. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Love y'all.